Remember, the reason you are still working 9 to 5 job is probably because skill is not up there yet. Alright, take a good look around you and you may see that the world is changing fast. One minute you have a job, the next minute you lose it. Or if you're old like me, the word influencers doesn't even exist back in the days. It is one of those things where I think people are just too lazy to get a job and they only dream of becoming a celebrity. And 5 years ago, I was laughing at those people who said when they grow up, they want to be a YouTuber. And I was like, what? A YouTuber? Why don't you get a freaking job instead of all these dreams that you can't even make a living off from? And now, I feel like an idiot. But over the years, jobs comes and goes or even replace. Skills that were once relevant are no longer needed. And if you're unlucky, you could be studying for a 3 years course, graduate, only to find out that your skill is not needed in anything, so you struggle to find a job. I think we can all relate to this. Sometimes you can see a person with a master's degree working at McDonald's because he or she couldn't find a job, and they needed to do that because they need to make a living. And over the years, I have seen this happening to people around me and even to myself. Do you remember back in the days when the internet was still fresh and websites were a new thing? Of course you don't because you weren't even born yet, but I do because I went through it as a kid in the 90s. So here you see, this is a website of Amazon.com in 1995. This is what it looks like. And all websites looks like this in the 90s, just really plain, mostly text-based, hardly any images, nothing fancy. And here's another one, eBay. Look how bad this looks. It is all over the place. It is a total mess. If this is what it is today, I will most likely not visit the website ever again. But during those times, website developers were a big thing. Everyone wanted a website built, and there's an increase in demand for website developers. And to build a website like that takes a lot of time. When I was a kid, I used to build websites just for fun as a hobby, and the simplest animated text takes me hours to implement. So naturally, a lot of people during that time started taking courses to study about building a website because website developers were being paid a huge sum of money. Fast forward to today, that skill set is no longer required. You can literally build your own website in 1 hour using the many website services out there. And this website developer either levels up to a web developer or move into programming or maybe pursue a different career altogether. Either way, they need to skill up. Now, I don't know about you, but if it was me, if I had to study something for 3 years only to have that skill set become obsolete, I would be pissed. And sadly, skills being replaced is like one of the most common things, especially if you are in the technology industry, which somehow turns out to be the industry I'm in. But there's an evergreen skill set that we can all gain, but most don't. And because they don't improve it, they put their job in jeopardy. And this is especially evident, especially during this pandemic. Okay, just pause here for a second. There's this thing recently about the YouTube algorithm recommending videos that are 4 to 5 years old. So if for some reason this video got recommended 20 years later, I just want to give a quick advice to our super young viewers that it is now year 2020 and pretty much the entire world is in lockdown because of a pandemic called COVID-19. It has caused the recession, it has caused job losses, it has caused the economy downturn. Go Google it for more information. Sorry, this is assuming Google still exists 20 years later. If it isn't, just look up COVID-19. So the skill sets that will never go away is called soft skills. You may have heard of it, and I'm pretty sure you have a bit of it. Soft skills are skills that you never learn in school. It is not something that is based on a textbook. They are attributes that you can build that forms you as an individual and shapes how you perform at your job or work. So in a way, it forms your work ethic. In fact, even Google, who is notorious for hiring people with PhD level education only, they too have changed in recent years and they started including soft skills in their application selection criteria. And over the years, I have seen cases like this happening far too often in my career. Oh, sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Kevin and I run my own mobile apps business. I used to work in a job. In fact, I worked 6 different jobs in 6 different industries over 10 years. And in those 10 years, I noticed two things. One, your manager does not necessarily have to have a higher education than you. In fact, they don't have to be academically smarter than you. Two, there were those who were in their 40s and they had the same position as me when I'm in my 20s because they did not skill up. So anyways, there are a lot of skills in soft skills, but I have only enough time to go through three. So I choose problem solving, critical thinking, and motivation. Problem solving is your ability to solve problems. Okay, I actually can't think of any less obvious way to say it. But if you think about it, how many times have you come across a problem in your job and because you don't know how to solve it, you gave up? As silly as that might sound, I know that happens. There are tons of my ex-colleagues who refuses to do a certain type of work because there are no guidelines and there are no documentations provided to them. Simply put, they just don't want to do the job because if anything goes wrong, they don't want to be liable. I like to see myself as a person with high problem-solving skills. I mean, it is not really fun because who likes doing things they don't know? You look stupid doing it. But even if I complain or hated it at the start, I'll still do it because I know once I take the first step, I will also take the next subsequent steps in order to finish it. Take making YouTube videos for example. When I first started, my videos had problem reaching out to my audience and I was super frustrated. But it is a problem, so do I choose to give up or do I choose to find a solution? And as you can see, my channel is growing slowly, and if you were to ask me to start all over again, I'm no longer afraid because I now know how to grow my channel from scratch. If I was given a guideline by a successful YouTuber, it is not guaranteed to work because that YouTuber can't possibly cover all problems. New problems will continue to arise and we need to learn how to solve that calmly, which is why this soft skill is super handy. Next up is tea time. Next up, critical thinking skills. Think of this as when you are given a project that you have never handled before, and this project involves new system, new strategy, new business model, which requires a new approach. And right that instance, what do you think you're going to do? Two possibilities. One, you say yes knowing that you don't know how to do it, but you know you will figure it out. Two, you say no and let someone else figure it out. Depending on your answer, you will probably know which one gets you a promotion and which one doesn't. And you will be amazed at how many people chooses to say no. And if you're an employer, who would you rather hire? The person who figures things out or the person who is too lazy to figure things out? A company values smart people, but they value people who can grow the company even more. There was actually a case study done by Google, and they found that their A team, which is made up of all these super smart scientists, they underperformed in terms of ideas and productivity compared to their B team. And B team is not even remotely close to being as smart as A team. So what does this tell you? Being smart can be a curse because they think they are the best, they make things too complex, and they are perfectionists. This is also why most of the time they ended up working for someone else who is not as smart as them because they lack that soft skills. And finally, motivation, and to be more specific, self-motivation. And I got a really good story for this one. There was once in my old job, my team was required to work overnight to do a server upgrade. And this guy, he told the manager that he is not going to do it if he is not getting overtime pay. Now to be clear, there is no overtime pay, but they do compensate us by giving us time off. But this guy, he was so adamant that if he doesn't get paid, he is not going to work. So I volunteered myself instead and did it for the team. How do you think that will reflect on him and on me? I volunteered because I just wanted it to be done and I'm happy to take it for the team. Even if he is smarter than me, which he isn't by the way, I will still be the preferred choice if there is an opportunity to be promoted. So I hope you like these 3 soft skills I picked. Remember, soft skills are pretty much compulsory these days because there is a serious lack of it. Soft skills will allow you to go through these tough times, and if I were you, I would start building it little by little. Remember, the reason you are still working 9 to 5 job is probably because your soft skill is not up there yet. If you were to attain a high level of soft skills, you will see things differently. I know I did, and that is why I became self-employed, because soft skills gave me the confidence to do it. If you really want to protect yourself financially, improve your soft skills, and I guarantee you, you will look like a golden trophy in everyone's eyes. And then you will know that having a job is below your level and you will want to start your own business because your soft skills demands more challenge. Alright, if you enjoyed the video, remember to smash the like button and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so for more videos like this one. So take care everyone, and I will see you again soon.